Notice that there's nothing identifiable about any of these eyes, right? Notice that this eye, nothing tells me what you are. And what we could do is dynamically modify that remove movie, right? I can add an attribute. I can say remove movie attr. Attr allows you to add any attribute to an element. Right now we already have some attributes. Notice that TD has the class attribute, right? And I guess we're only using the class attribute. We can add another attribute, just like in T-body, I could have added an ID webdev movie table body, right? I can uniquely identify that table body with a unique identifier. So what we could do is add a unique identifier to this eye, so that when we click it, we can say, oh, what's your ID? So I'll know which movie I should remove, right? I know which movie I can remove, right? Okay, excellent. So the attribute, I'll call the attribute ID. And I'll make it the value of that ID. I'll say movie sub I, and then the ID. Right, so if I refresh now, notice that now all my IDs, all my eyes, all my clicks right here, it has a unique identifier of 1, 2, 3. The table row has a second TD, has an I with an ID of 2, 3, 4. See that? So if all of these now have a unique identifier, see that? Everybody okay? Everybody good? All right, excellent. Let's keep going. So once I have that, and I click on it, it's going to notify this delete movie. So delete movie by default takes an argument, right? This is what it's called as this function is called an event handler, right? It's handling an event that was generated by the click event. Yes, right? And the browser is calling that function, right? Because we bounded, we added an on click, right, to call this function. And when the browser calls these event handlers, it passes along, right, an object. It passes along an object. That object represents the event of what was true, right, when this event occurred, right? What time was it? Where was the mouse? Okay, what keys were you pressing, right? Who generated this event, right? So it just sends a huge amounts of data. Let's do a console.log to the event to see what the browser's sending us. Right, so let's refresh and let's look at the console and let's click on this. All right, so notice that it's a window event, right? It's an event by the browser, and if we open it up, there's tons of really good information in here, right? There's tons of really good information. One of the things that we notice that we see here is that we have the position of the X mouse, where the mouse was, X and Y position. If you had the control key pressed down, right? So you can do some logic on whether you clicked it when you have the control button down, or the shift, or the tab, or any particular key. But one of the things that is most useful is this right here. See this current target? Current target is the element that generated this event, right? Because we clicked on it, right? We have a link. Notice that if I hover over it, notice that it highlights it. It's bound to that element in the DOM, right? Which is an I, right? Whose ID is 234. Oh, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3. See that? So I could grab that. I could say current target. I can say from the movie, from here, I can say constant, the element or the delete button is event dot current target. Right, and I can just print out. We can print out the delete button. Right, so if we refresh and we click it again, notice that we have the I whose class and ID is 1, 2, 3. See that? Right? But this is a raw DOM object. It's the raw object, right? We don't want to deal with raw DOM object. We always want to deal with the high level version of them. So we're going to wrap it around with jQuery, right? We don't want to deal with low-level DOM elements because they don't have any of the API stuff, right? They have the the really low-level JavaScript methods, right? Get ID, get by ID, get element, all those things, all the low-level stuff. I want to treat it at a high level, so I wrap it with jQuery. So now I have the high-level API. I can use it. So for instance, I could one of the things that I have now is I can retrieve the ID. You retrieve from me an attribute whose name is ID, and I can look at the ID. Yes.
So all you need to do is $sign parentheses, and that wraps it.
Yeah, it wraps it. It makes it. It makes it just like we did here, right? And when we did T-body, we grabbed something from the DOM, right? And now it becomes a jQuery object, right? That has the low-level API plus tons of new API that jQuery provides. Right? So same thing here, right? This is the low-level object. We're wrapping it to make it a high-level jQuery object. Yes. I'm sorry. Say again. Well, we know that this will only matter in the future, right? It says I'm binding it, and when you click it, then I will notify you. So yeah, it doesn't matter the order in which, because it's not happening now, right? I can still do some manipulations on that element, and they will make it through. All right. So notice that now, because I wrapped this low-level current target with jQuery, I have now the delete button, and I can query it and says, what ID are you? So if I click on it, notice that this is 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, right? And I know which one you clicked. I know exactly which one you clicked.
Hi everyone, Jose here. Please remember to subscribe and like the video. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Thank you.